What's up, guys? Today we have a little bit of time to get out here in the garage, so we're going to do some stuff on the Mustang. So I'm working on the Mustang today because I'm at kind of a stopping point on the Triumph. As you guys know, if you're up to date on these videos, I'm looking for a cool way to hide my electronics somewhere in this general area here. Thinking about ammo box, depending on the size, thinking about, a tank that looks like an oil tank. We've talked about a few different options, and I haven't actually found that exact solution yet, and that's really the next step I want to tackle on this bike. So I'm actively looking for that. I'm going to get some measurements today and really figure out exactly the size of the thing that I need, so that I can kind of really start to refine the search and get to work on that. So what we're doing to the Mustang today is there is a leak on the passenger floorboard. So it's really common on these, any like 65 through like early 70, 72, something like that, are pretty common to have cowl leaks. So what that is water comes through here and then collects around basically where your vent comes in for your heat and then drips onto the floor. So that's happening on this one. There is a kit that I picked up. Actually, it came with the car, but it's really cheap. It's like 30 bucks, 35 bucks. I'll throw a link to it in the description below. But basically what it is these two plastic kind of sleeves, I guess you would call them, and then some RTV silicone. So basically what we're going to have to do is drop the heater, unplug everything, the fans, undo the heater hoses, in the engine compartment, unbolt that whole assembly, drop it down. That'll give us access to where these are actually going to sit in and help seal. So I'm going to get in here and start disconnecting some hoses and wires, and then I'll let you guys see exactly what I'm doing. Alright, so I got in here and pulled off the heater hoses, pulled down this air handler, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like at some point this car already had the fix that I was going to do, but it doesn't look like it was done very well. So I'm going to see if I can show you guys what we're looking at here. So that's the vent that leaks. So normally factory wouldn't have that black piece. That's what we were going to put on, but as you can see right there very clearly, it's still leaking around. So I'm going to see if I can get that one off and then do a better job of cleaning up that area and applying silicone, so that we can seal it off. It's going to be a little bit hard probably to get that off depending on how tight that silicone is, but it looks like it was just kind of done, could have been done a long time ago and not done that well, but it looks like we are still having some leaking around that area. So I'm going to see if I can remove that whole black piece right there, since we already have a replacement one. That way I can clean it up really nice and get a real good idea of the condition of the metal underneath it, so that we can go through and repair it a little bit better than it was done last time. So I'm going to get in here and see if I can't remove that, and then I'll bring you guys back. I removed the glove box so you guys can get a better idea and I can get better access to it. So if you couldn't see, that's what we're replacing here, and it looks like I'm going to be able to just kind of get in here with a flathead screwdriver and work my way around to pull that piece off. Been in here cleaning it up, got the old one out without a problem. There is some rust around for sure, so I just this is the new one. Anywhere that the silicone is going to touch, I'm going to hit with a wire wheel and get down to nice clean bare metal. Throw some etching primer on it so that we don't have any issues with rust in the future. And then we'll get to actually installing this. But I just kind of wanted to make a mark, see how this thing fits in here, see how much we need to clean up to make sure we get a nice solid seal this next time, so that we don't have to come back in here and do a similar repair in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the wire wheel. I'm going to put some plastic and stuff down in here so that cleanup will be easier and I don't mess anything up. Yeah, so we'll get to cleaning it up. Little update with where we're at. Have the new piece installed. You see I did a nice even but pretty thick layer of silicone all the way around. I cleaned it all. I ended up getting my Dremel with a wire wheel, cleaning up all the mating surface all the way down to bare metal, spraying it. You can kind of see the gray here with a nice etching primer to you know, prevent any rust in the future. Then putting a bead of silicone around on the metal, then another bead around on the plastic piece itself, slid it up into place, then kind of ran my finger around to create a nice tight seal with what silicone kind of, you know, squeezed out of the side. So this should be really solid, really watertight. Obviously that's the plan. So it takes 24 hours to fully cure. I'm gonna let it sit here for probably, you know, 15 or 20 minutes. It says dry to the touch in an hour. So I'm gonna let it sit here out in the Texas heat for probably 15 or 20 minutes or so. Have a beer, wait for it to get pretty tacky, and then I can actually start to put everything back together, because there's no weight or anything on this, so it's fine if it cures with you know, the heater box and everything back in place. So what I think happened with the original is I think they used the wrong type of silicone. When I looked at the one I pulled off, it was like that white silicone, which I'm pretty sure is like made for residential use. I could be wrong, but I've always used the black auto silicone is what they call it. I mean, that's what they use for like windshields and all kinds of stuff. And it's supposed to be like really good for both plastic, metal, fiberglass, you know, obviously water resistant. So that's what I'm using on here, and you know, it came with it in the kit. So we're gonna let this get a little bit more cured or dry a little bit, and then we'll start the reinstallation of everything, which should go pretty straightforward. You know, I just have the box over here that I can slide back up into place. There's just a stud that goes through the firewall, then a you know, kind of next to that big opening right there is a little tab that comes out that mounts to a little piece that comes off of the hole. You know, obviously make sure all this is hooked up. None of the wiring was hooked up to this at all, which is interesting. So I'll reconnect everything like it should be with all the vacuum lines and everything, and then we'll be good to go. So I will bring you guys back when we get the installation process started. Then we'll move on to something else. Got the heater box all back up, went in pretty easily. Glove box back on, which really is just 3 8mm bolts across the bottom. Come up here to the cowl. Got our heater hoses back on. This one bolt over here that goes into the heater box. So it's all back on. I just topped off the coolant. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up and make sure we don't have any leaks. I can't test, you know, if the actual water leak was fixed, you know, because we have to wait for that stuff to cure. But we'll test that a little bit later in the week once it's had a couple of days to really cure and solidify and you know, set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire it up and then double check and make sure we don't have any leaks around our heater hoses. All right, guys, we're out here test driving the Mustang around. It's super hot today. I think it's about 96 or so, but you can see our temp gauge is staying pretty much right in the middle. So I'm really happy with the way this car cools. I'm like 85% sure there's not even a thermostat in there, because it takes a good amount of time to warm up, and when it's this hot outside, there really is no reason for it to take that long. So no thermostat will help it stay cooler in these Texas summers, but come winter time, we'll probably throw a thermostat in there so that we can get heat faster for obvious reasons. So I think I'm probably going to cut it off for this video. So far, 0 leaks. I mean, the replacement is working really well. So again, like I said, we'll test it with the actual hose here in a couple of days when it has time to fully cure. So right now I'm just kind of enjoying the car, out driving it around, taking some pictures, which I'll put on my Instagram at Classic Octane. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Oh, one more thing I'm going to show you. Let me jump out. I went ahead and put on the side molding on this side that I was talking about. I just went ahead and knocked it out. Basically what you have to do is there's some clips on there that you drill out the rivets, you rivet on the new clips, then this piece just snaps on. So I didn't make a video about that because it would have been like a 2-minute long video, and I just decided to knock it out. So looks really good. We have molding on both sides. We got the Mustang back on. So really the next thing I'm gonna do is probably try to polish the paint a little bit. And I'm sorry if there's wind noise, I'm out here walking around, but I'm gonna try to polish the paint, make that look a little bit better, and start to actually drive the car and you know, enjoy it. It seems to be doing really well despite it being super hot. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna go enjoy the car a little bit more. If you liked this, make sure to follow along, check out my other Mustang videos. Those of you who follow the channel for the Triumph, I'm gonna go out this afternoon and keep searching for a cool, unique battery box. I don't want to just make a plain Jane one for this bike. I'd like to really find something that's vintage and unique and kind of fits the bike. And as soon as I find that, then we'll get to work on getting all the electronics squared away, starting to wire up that M unit. I also have that custom headlight that I'm making that I need to go find some parts for that as well. So I'm gonna go do that, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next video.